A Podcast Reborn does contain mature language and will contain spoilers for major significant parts of the MSQ, especially patch 6.3. You have been warned. Enjoy the show. From the many realms of Atheris to the distant reaches of the 13th via the magic of podcasting, this is episode 32 of A Podcast Reborn, a show celebrating our journey in the past, present, and possible future of Final Fantasy XIV. This episode is being recorded on Sunday, March 5th of 2023. My name is Brian Black, also known as Ro. With me, as usual, is Resident Chaos Gremlin and Savage Rating Summoner Extraordinaire who would like no more and no less than 4 extra buttons on her gaming mouse. Hi, Megan.
Hi. Yeah, man, like, if you search for gaming mouse, it's like either 2 buttons or an entire calculator. There's no in between. Although people have been telling me about, like, a bunch of random brands that supposedly have 4, but I haven't looked into it because I'm lazy.
Well, I feel like there has to be, just how most places when you go to get a PC online, you can customize your PC with different bits and pieces. Why isn't there a thing where you can customize your mouse for like X number of buttons and like have the wheel be this way or that way? I don't know. I feel like there has to be like a build your PC mouse kind of thing.
I wonder. I bet there is, but I bet it's mega expensive.
Probably.
One of those enthusiast things where you can build your own mouse pad, mouse cap. It has to be on its own custom, like, those ABS plastic.
Oh my god.
Shot injected. What do they call those keycap things? Oh god.
It's like injection molded.
Oh yeah.
That other voice you hear, of course, joining us once again today is someone who would like to share an update from Final Fantasy XIV producer and director Naoki Yoshida on the ongoing congestion, additional game time compensation, suspension of sales, error codes, and Square Enix's upcoming plans. I'm sorry, folks, that's all I've got. His last tweet was from a retweet from Ed Walker's launch, so there you go. Hi, Ward.
Oh golly, yeah. Twitter is a thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
I should probably download that on my phone again.
No, it's cool. You don't got it.
Somehow still is a thing.
I do see the memes come through from the Twitter occasionally, although I will admit I never actually catch them on Twitter. I just find them from other places and other places. I think my favorite one in the past couple of weeks was a cartoon of something that people made after a Yoshi P interview, when he was asked about the possible collaboration between Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 14. So he said, as the director of Final Fantasy 16, it's something he's really interested in about a cross collaboration. What we really have to do is he'd have to talk to the producer and director of Final Fantasy 14 to see if he can get their approval. And as it turns out, they actually share the same name.
I love that so much.
Oh, God.
I'm looking forward to Yoshi P and Yoshi P's plans on that collab.
Oh, yeah, I'm all down for it.
I'm really looking forward to that game. Although apparently it has, like, how many hours of cutscene that they said?
I know. It's like, hold on, would you like to play Final Fantasy 14 but with 5 times as many cutscenes? I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah.
Take my money.
Fully voice acted. Hell yeah, give it to me.
All for it. Of course, which is kind of relevant to this, last but never least, is an old man who is not in search of 50 reasons to embrace spoilers, because, spoiler alert, he has at least 73! Hi, Brandon.
How's it going, everybody? On the topic of customized gaming peripherals, I think that if anyone's going to do that, it's probably Disney, because after all, they are the House of Mouse.
You came up with that on the fly, didn't you?
I did, and just to prove it to you. But in other news, you guys aren't going to believe this, but once again, I got kicked from a group because they claimed I was using add-ons. That was a third party this week.
It took me a second for it to click. Outstanding. Well, this is episode 32. As you are listening to this, patch 6.35 is already out. Probably just a day or two out. People are deep dungeoning. They're doing quests for the Loperates. All sorts of other madness is going on. So
it's a very hair-raising experience.
Oh, it's full of madness. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, Manderville weapons and gang relic weapons ready. So obviously you need something to listen to during the grind, and you don't need us talking about what we've been up to or all the hype we have for 6.35 because you're playing it right now. That wouldn't be all that entertaining. So then a thought came to mind. We are in the month of March. This is episode 32. I feel like the fates and the stars have aligned to give me a message that, ladies and gentlemen, it is once again time to revisit a deadly age known as the Waifu Wars. 32 will enter. 2 will leave because we have 16 waifus and 16 husbandos, and I'm going to let one of each of them survive. Well, maybe. Before we got this podcast going this week, earlier in the week, I asked each of my co-hosts here to give me their top 10 lists of waifus and husbandos, and preferably rank them in order of best to worst. That was to help me figure out the seeding and the invites for this tournament. I also came up with my own top 10 list before I even asked any of them. So the way this is working is each person's top 2 got into the bracket no matter how well they were ranked by other people. So whoever was top 2 on your list, you'll hear them mentioned. The rest of the list, I just basically did a simple point ranking system, 10 points for your first pick, 9 points for your second, scored it down that way, and did a collaborative average score, figured out who the top people were, and filled in the names there. So if you ranked someone who people have hardly heard of because they're from some sort of job quest line, if you rank them number 7 or number 8 on your list, guess what? They actually probably are going to get in. So the original plan for this episode was to do both the Waifu Conference and the Husbando Conference. However, due to technical difficulties completely in my control and because I do not know how to read the English language, we are only going to do the waifus only. I am sorry, Brandon.
It's okay. It made logical sense to me. I don't know. Maybe I watched too many award shows.
I've got to say, though, I was like reading what I saw. It's like, wow, ranking Kurenai number 1, huh? That's a bold choice. It's like, Nashmira number 2. And I'm like, okay, sure, we'll go with it. He gave me his list in backwards order for the nominations, and I didn't grok that, apparently, even though he said in descending order, Ro. And I'm like, yeah, sure, got it. But anyway, I've got that fixed. I've got things reseeded. We still have a bracket that's a bit more. It looks a little more realistic now. I was going to say there were a few weird names because of it, but now that this seems like a bracket. So, 16 waifus, 16 enter, 1 leave. We'll do the husbandos another time. Here's the thing, though. You may be asking yourself, "Hey, Brian, there's 4 people on this show. You're not going to have an easy time with a majority, are you?" And since you make a good point. If 3 out of 4 of us agree, that person moves on in the matchup. If all 4 of us agree, that person moves on. But what happens if we have one part of this bracket where 2 go one way and 2 go the other? And I've come up with a very simple and fair way to handle it. If we have a tie, each side will get 1 minute to basically champion their waifu and why they think that waifu should go further on in the bracket, and try to win over someone from the other side. If after that minute of debate from each side, we are still in a deadlock, both of them get eliminated.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
This is brutal.
Burning the house is our strategy.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be this could be a brutal one. There could be lives lost. People could be like, "How does Y'shtola not make it because of a tie?" Hey, I never said the Waifu Wars were fair.
Oh my god.
Okay. With that said, we're going to move on to our first matchup here in the Waifu Wars. Now, basically, I'm going to ask each of you which one you're going for. We don't have to give big explanations. If we have a simple majority, will basically say, yep, they move on, and we'll go on to the next one. I think the debates are going to be the fun part here. So, our first matchup is going to be Zero, which I'm sure is a name well on the minds of a lot of people. And going against Zero is the blockbuster waifu that is Serena. Be wondering.
Ooh.
Oh, those are two opposite types.
I know.
Indeed, that's actually a good point. As far as like the what would you say? I'm trying to think of the word. But yes, they are very different characters.
Kudere and Dere.
Yeah.
There we go. trying to make sure I get my my waifu brain in the right space.
I married a cultured man.
Clearly, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to try to rotate the order of who gets to vote first each time. So, Megan, Zero or Serena?
I have to go with Zero. I'm sorry. I love Serena. She's very cute. She's very sweet. But as far as pure waifu appeal, Zero wins. She's too hot.
All right. Brandon, Zero or Serena?
I'm going to pick Serena.
Ooh.
I love her. I love her attitude. I love that she can absolutely fucking yeet somebody into the void. I mean, that woman's an archer. She's got arms for days. And yeah, it's her for me. Zero. I like Zero. I like her a lot, but I think we're gonna have to. I think I'm gonna need to see some more character development through these patches before I could, really get behind her as a waifu.
Not that Serena had a whole lot of the character development, though. Ward, who do you vote for?
I do have to go with the Kudere. I'm gonna have to go with Zero. As much as I do like Serena, there's too many Serena or Serena types in Final Fantasy XIV. I think it's just the more. I mean, Zero's not a unique character, as in like all character types, but like more unique than anything else, and it gives her the extra points in my book.
She's underrepresented.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. With the final vote, basically will decide here if we go into a debate or if Zero moves on. And I've got to side with Megan and Ward here. I'm for Zero.
There we go.
Serena's a great character and stuff, but Zero's just more compelling and intriguing to me.
It's a hard choice. Neither of them made my top 10, and so yeah, I'm not too sad about losing this one.
No.
All right. Well, with that, Zerino, that's a weird mesh. Zero moves on.
Just imagining Serena in the little Reaper outfit being in darkness.
That's weirdly adorable, and I kind of want to see something good. If you're listening and you're good with anamnesis or some other crime tool, please hit me up.
All right, moving on here. Our next matchup, the 8 and the 9 seed. For this, they're both pretty close together, some might say. We have Lena from Shadowbringers.
Oof.
And representing Heaven's Ward, Hilda.
Oh God! That's not fair.
Damn you!
I knew that the waifu wars were fair.
Oh fuck!
So for this one, Brandon gets to start us off.
This is going to show my machinist proclivities coming through, but it's got to be Hilda for me. I adore both of these ladies, and when I was ranking them, I flip-flopped their spot on the list multiple times. So I'm going to cast my vote for Hilda.
All right, Ward, how about you?
Oh man, I can't believe that Hilda missed my list, and I don't know how because I'm such a fanboy for Heaven's Ward and all the characters within it.
I missed her too.
I don't know how she didn't make it into my top 10. But I think that because there's been so many good characters in Heaven's Ward, it's like she wasn't standing out as like the top 2 or 3.
True.
Which is why I have to go with Lena. She had so much character development over the course of Heaven's Ward, and Heaven's Ward, Shadowbringers. Seeing her go from just like the standoff person to the person who's going to be the next leader for the Crystarium.
So that brings it to me, and Lena is a great character, absolutely. But when I ask myself this question, I kind of think of, and it's like when we're picking these waifus, it's like, do you mean a waifu for the show, or a waifu for the person, or a waifu for the character? You kind of leave that, it's up to interpretation. But when I put these two together, I ask myself, which of these two would I prefer to be my waifu? And it is close, but I would have to say by a hair, I would be going for Hilda.
Hair, nice.
Yeah, sorry about that pun there, Lena. But so Hilda is 2-1. So Megan, we can either bring this to a debate, or does Hilda get to move on?
Gosh, okay. So I'm a sucker for a sexy voice. And Lena has the sexiest accent.
Fair.
She really does. And I don't think Hilda even has any voice acting.
Oh, she does. She absolutely does.
She does.
See, I don't remember her voice at all.
There wasn't a lot of it, though, was there? I don't think there was too much.
But
she had a few prominent moments in Heavensward as kind of like basically like the representative of the people of the broom. And Aymeric ended up forging an alliance with her to bring all of Ishgard over to his side against the side of the Archbishop. She shows
in the patch quest, right? I think that was after the main MSQ.
I don't remember if that was in the main MSQ or afterwards, because I feel like it happened before we killed the Archbishop, which happened, and that happened in the MSQ, in the actual game MSQ. She's definitely more prominent in the Machinist Heavensward quests, which is why I like her so dang much. Mm-hmm. But she definitely has some voice acting, and she definitely has some very prominent lines. Also, she just points a gun at one of the Heavensward and says, "You know what? You're annoying me," and just blasts him right in the face. He didn't cheat. She tried. That gets her points in my book.
Well, I also really love a unique character model, and Hilda is one of a kind. So I think I have to go for Hilda, even though I love Lena so much. Oof. Like, if it was pure sexiness, I think I would go with Lena, but this is like the whole package, so I'm going to go for Hilda. I'm so sorry.
Okay. It's a tough choice. It really is.
It is a tough choice.
All right. So we are going to say that Hilda moves on there. A very, very hard fight. They're the 8th and 9th seed for a reason, right? Next up, the 4th seed and 13th seed. 4th seed is the once and future Highland Vina.
Mommy.
Yep. And
I am kicking myself for not remembering to put her on my list. Wow.
Well, we're all going to have one of those.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What was I thinking?
Can I toss this one bit of trivia out there? One that's also not on the list here. None of us picked Minfilia.
For a reason, maybe.
She's very
plain.
I don't want to say bland. I don't want to. She's like she's just nice. It's like.
Yeah, if she had actually, stuck around for more than after the bloody banquets and also displayed at least some level of combat competency, maybe that would be different. But I'm not shocked at all.
Okay. Yeah, waifus are not made on thighs alone.
Yep.
Or midriffs, because
right. I mean, if this was a midriff contest, then
there we go. Yeah.
Okay, so Vina is going up against someone who was only, I believe, in Megan's picks, and that is none other than Nanamo Onamo.
Oh.
Well, that's not fair.
So,
seed.
For this one, Ward gets to start us off here.
I'm sorry. Well, while pure of heart and full of gumption, I can't go with this Lalafell. There's already another Lalafell that's the waifu in my heart, and I can't go with Nanamo. So it's Vanat for me.
For me, it's like of all the Lalafell that could be on a list of waifus, Nanamo's definitely there. But Vina just has it in spades, and there's recency bias also, and I have to go with Vina.
Yeah.
And Megan, I'm interested to hear your pick, because you're the only one who picked Nanamo, but does she rank over Vina?
No, of course she doesn't. She didn't even rank over her on my list. Oh my god, Vana is like the mega waifu. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Poor Nanamo, that's unfair. Freaking stomp that poor little potato.
Waifu wars are never fair. Brandon is a 4-way unanimous here.
Mommy? Sorry, yeah. Mommy? Sorry, Mommy. Yes, of course it's not. Come on.
All right, so Vana goes on. Speaking of Lalafell, though, and I get to start us off with the votes here, but speaking of Lalafell, we have Kryl in the 5th seed.
Ooh.
Going up against someone who was almost going to be written out if I hadn't paid attention to stuff closely, Lise. So Kryl and Lise, for me, I get to cast a first vote here, and I've got to say that neither one of these two were on my top 10 list. And I don't have the hatred for Lise that there seems a good section of the community seems to have. I mean, like, I'll mention Lise in the same way because of the memes and stuff like that. But Lise is definitely a very polarizing character, and I think that's because people weren't amused by just the very different characters she was between being Ida, being Lise in the first part of Stormblood, and then like the very severe shift that she has to actually be being a commander and stuff afterwards. Everyone has their own reasons. Some people like Lise, some people don't. Kryl, I never really hear anyone in disfavor. I've never heard any, bad sentiments about Kryl. And Kryl of the two, Kryl seems more interesting to me. Kryl seems more good-hearted. Kryl's definitely not a Zero. She's definitely not a Lena, and she's not a Vana. But she has her own ups about her. So I'm gonna go with Kryl. That brings us to Megan.
I'm also gonna go for Kryl because I already told you I put Lise in like the daughter category with like Alize and Reen. Like, yeah. She is young and she seems young, and as a grown ass woman, I would much rather have Kryl as a waifu because I think she would be great to have tea with, and we could have little debates, and also that she is basically Garaha's adopted sister and is like mature but also just so freaking cute in her little cat hoodie. So yes, Kryl.
It's kind of unfair that Kryl is so high up on Ward's list because actually Brandon's next to vote.
I fully expect to lose this. I am on team Lise is amazing. I feel like people don't give enough credit to the character development that she went through during Stormblood, probably because it felt kind of abbreviated. But I mean, come on, we're all creative people. Fill in the blanks a little bit. Also, I'm not apologizing for this. Lise is fucking hot. Okay.
Okay.
Do not get me wrong. I love Kryl to death. I am so happy to have someone else to sass Grahatia with her. But I am on team. Lise is amazing, and I'm going to cast the. I can't think of what the term is. I'm going to cast basically like a protest vote in her favor.
All right. Ward, as if I have to ask, but take it away.
Yeah, well, I think I will say that I think Lise does also get the bit of a short end of the stick in the comparison from Stormblood to Heaven's Ward, because it was such a tonal shift from all the characters we met in Heaven's Ward to have someone who's like, fun and spunky and has a lot of energy. And
she's ganky. She's ganky type.
Yeah. I think that's probably also one of the reasons why some people kind of didn't mesh with Stormblood as much as they did with Heaven's Ward. And so I think part of all of that just rubs off on Lise. To say that she should be in the waifu category, but I don't think I could give her any points. And Kryl to me is just like Kryl's the whole package. Kryl's been with us through thick and thin, even there with us through all the different side quests. Do you think anyone else would have done Eureka with us?
Oh, it's
No.
true. I think
No
Ward's,
one else would have done Eureka with us.
Ward's
That is
done
a
all
very
of
good
Eureka, so I think that Kryle is rubbed off on him a lot. Also, she's the big sister type. We don't have a lot of. We have a few big sister types, but
I think that's why I didn't put her on my list, because she seems more like a sister to me.
well, that's the thing. Anime doesn't care.
They're all waifus. They're all waifus.
This is why I don't watch it, I guess.
All right. Kryle moves on to the Elite Eight. I hope I can say that without being sued. Moving on. Next up, the 2 seed. As if there's any doubt about this, Y'shtola.
The
The
other
2
big
seed.
sister.
And then who gets to go against Y'shtola? Well, someone from Stormblood. Well, I say Stormblood, but she's actually been around much longer. Yugiri.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
I didn't put Yuri on my list.
And
Waifu.
Megan gets to start us off.
I mean, look, I love Yugiri. She's very cute. She has the really pretty ombre horns. But fuck, guys, Y'shtola. Y'shtola has her own ball-jointed doll, for fuck's sake. she is the Final Fantasy 14 waifu.
Oh, man.
And I think that she has more than earned that spot. I think that Shadowbringer really cemented her spot as the waifu from this game. So, yes, obviously, Y'shtola.
All right, Brandon.
I want to throw some support for Yugiri, but I can't. She's my number 1 pick. It's Y'shtola.
Mm-hmm. And Ward.
I mean, what other waifu has threatened to take us over their knee? I mean, really, I feel like there's really not a contest there. I'm sorry, Yugiri, but it's hands down Y'shtola.
Yeah. Yugiri's like she's so like shy and everything. It's kind of unfair.
It's unanimous. It has to be Y'shtola for me also. And I mean, Megan made the point pretty clear. If there was... Actually, I think the most recent Dissidia game, if people are familiar with Dissidia, had Y'shtola representing Final Fantasy XIV. That's a game that has like all the Final Fantasy characters in it. And Y'shtola represented Final Fantasy XIV in that game. There's a reason for that. She's pretty popular all around. Just like I've never heard of anyone bash on Kryle or anything like that. I've never heard of anyone really not think highly of Y'shtola as a character.
Do not go onto the FF14 subreddit then, because oh my god.
I never go to the FF14.
People will say that just because they feel like she's overrated. Not that she's like a good character, but they're like, oh, she's not the best character. But
yeah, or also they just really like to have like the contrarian / I'm too cool to like Y'shtola because all the normies like Y'shtola.
Well, is it because of Catgirl bias or what?
It might be.
I think it might be it.
I think it also has something to do with all the fan art that ends up on that subreddit of her specifically.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. Moving on, we have the 7th and 10th seed. For the 7th seed, we have also... Well, let's see. No, I think this would be technically from Shadowbringers, but not in Shadowbringers. Oh, no, she's been around earlier. Sorry, my brain. She's been in a couple different things. We have Mikoto. And going against Mikoto is Moonbrita. Moonbrita actually 10th seed, which might surprise people. So we will start with Brandon here.
Now, just to clarify, I'm pretty sure I know which one you mean, but I have to ask. Are you referring to the Alra girl Mikoto or Makoto from the Samurai Quest line?
The Alra girl.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I just have to point that out because it makes me giggle that they put in 2 characters with such similar names. It's got to be. I love Mikoto, but it's got to be Moonbrita. I mean, she's huge. She can kill you. She is
literally huge. Yes,
she's beefy. She could kill you. She's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it's a crying shame that she died so early on. What could have been with that character? There's so much lost potential there. I adore Moonbrita. She gets my vote.
All right. Ward, your call.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard because I feel like if we had been given more time with Monbrita, like we would have been able to like develop a closer bond with her. And like, yes, she had a larger than life personality, and we get to see all of her effects on the other characters, like after she's passed. But I didn't get the time to really connect with Monbrita in a way that I feel like a lot of other people did. But with Makoto, I was there with her, watching her be
Ward
ditz
does all
and
the extra
fall.
zones, okay.
What you say?
Ward did a lot of Boja, all right?
Okay, well, yes. Also, she's a hilarious klutz and just needs to find some way to get into Sid's pants. But that's another topic.
She's a crap outfit, which is very cute.
Yes.
All right. My vote is also for Makoto. And for me, it's like, yes, did I do a lot of Basha? Well, probably not as much as Ward, but I did do a significant amount of Basha. I would also have to say of all of the non-MSQ storylines that I have done, which involve like other raids, alliance raids, and all that stuff, or extra content, I enjoyed Save the Queen quite a bit. And I feel that one of the big reasons for that was Makoto. Moonbrita, yes, it is a travesty that she was lost as early as she was, and there's so much that you feel that could have been done with that character. And it kind of makes me want to see a what if Moonbrita didn't die, like how that would have changed like the whole dynamic in the science and stuff. Mm-hmm. But Makoto, I think as far as waifus go, I like Makoto for the clumsiness, for just the softness, yet not too soft. Yeah, she's soft, but she's also someone who is willing to make that sacrifice. She will throw herself in front of a train to save not just you, but the whole world if she has to. And there's that too, but Moonbrita, and she died, but Moonbrita.
Look, we're not debating now. Vote, and then I get to vote because we're going to be debating more.
Right. So I'm going to say Makoto. Megan, go.
Okay, for a character that had such a small amount of screen time, who left such a huge impact that characters, not just characters, but fans are still talking about her how many expansions later, and she's a hot giant woman. I have to vote for Moonbrita. Jesus. Spice of life. Like, Makoto is very cute, very sweet, but, like, she is vanilla. She is the vanilla ice cream of the waifus. And while vanilla can be very tasty, I need some spice. I need a large woman who could crush me with her thighs. Moonbrita.
And then debate you about the merits of various etherological topics.
Yes, exactly. She's got both. Man. She's got the bronze, she's got the beauty, she's got the brain.
And the booba.
And the booba.
Also, before we get to the debate, fun fact about Makoto, I most recently did the Evilise quest line on my Femro alt, and when she meets you, she goes, I thought you'd be taller.
I remember that, yes.
See, that's the thing, like, every single thing Moonbrita does is extremely memorable, and she's just very charming and also just, like, it's really nice to see the game put, like, a buff woman in, like, a romantic situation, and, like, this girl is hot, and, like, everybody has a crush on her, like, that's nice. It's nice to have some gender diversity going on, which is also why I like Zero. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that I think that it's impressive that she was around for so little, and yet people remember her so much. And, like, well, I do like Makoto, and I think she's very cute. I also think that, like, Makoto doesn't have eyes for you. She has eyes for Sid.
To be fair, we could say the same thing about Moonbrita and Urianger.
Yeah, but, like, would Urianger ever come around on his feelings if she hadn't died? I think the whole reason that Urianger admits he has feelings for her now is that he cannot act on them.
Ward, I'm going to let you add any bit that you want to for Makoto before we kind of figure this out.
Yeah, it's Makoto's one of those characters where I feel like I will see them being picked up in threads later on down the line. At some point, they're going to
see her again.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see her again, because it's one of those characters where I'm hoping that, we figure out something with White Oracite, or we have to bring them back with freaking memory crystals or something else, where they'll become much more closer part of the Scions and hopefully eventually get brought into the fold, like Kryle was. For a long time, I didn't think that Kryle would ever become like a full-fledged member of the Scions. They would just be doing their own thing as the students of Baldusian.
We could use more girl Scions.
And that's another reasons why I'm hoping, I've got my hope there that Makoto will be a larger character in the future, but how we really get into this? I don't know if I can really set either of them.
Breeda's name literally has bride in it, okay?
Well, I'm going to say this. This will not be a bracket where both people knock each other out, because I have heard enough although I'm going to miss her not moving forward, I will switch my vote to Membrita.
Can I just say, I did not expect the first debate of this whole tournament to have me and Megan on the same side.
True that.
That's a fair point. All right. Well then,
I know we're contrarian a lot to each other on this show, but we actually agree on far more than we disagree on. We're just very loud about our disagreements.
Well, we agree on buff women.
Hell yes.
All right. The next one's so tough for me.
Oh no.
Because it includes a character that only I picked, and she doesn't stand a chance. She doesn't stand a chance in the Seven Hills. And you know what? I'm not going to even be. It's one of those where I'm not even going to. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to vote for her. So let's just get this over with. We have Ysael as a 3 seed, and going up against Ysael, a character that no one else picked from Shadowbringers, is Feoul.
Oh, Feoul's cute, but good lord, man. No way.
Yeah.
Do not wife the Fae. That's
what I'm trying to think. It's like, do they even count as a waifu, or would they be a better husbando?
Well, they're like
king of the fair. Well, that's a good point.
She's
the king of the fairies. Yeah.
All the Fae are like gender neutral, so they're like spousu.
They're their own category. Their own category there.
Spousu or spouse bandos? I don't know.
Wife bando.
Spouse mandus?
Huswaifu.
But Ward, you have this one first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't vote for Feoul.
I know.
I can't do it. Lydia Eishard will be in my heart always.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For me, even though Feoul's in there, Ysael's so much higher on my list, so I have to say Ysael. Megan?
I mean, Ysael is such big step on me, mommy energy, and since I'm pretty much figuring my other step on me, mommy waifu did not make it in,
oh, no.
I have to vote for Ysael.
All right, Brandon, is it unanimous?
It is unanimous. Feoul is the cool wine ant of the family.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right, Ysael moves on. Last in the, quarterfinals? Yeah, more or less. Anyhow, last in the 16, we have 6th seed Sadu. You knew she had to make it. Come on now. Speaking of Step on Me. Going up against, speaking of Step on Me energy, Merlewib.
Oh.
See, Sadu's not step on me energy. Sadu is kick me in the face energy. Let's be clear, very different.
I have
Merlewib is definitely step on me.
I have the first one here, and man, it's tough. I don't think I had Merlewib on my list, but if I put these two together, no, I still have to go with Sadu. I could be. I'm not as nowhere near as verbose as the rest of you are, but it just Merlewib. There's definitely the nostalgia there. I mean, I had a lot of interaction with Merlwib, with my character going through Limsa and stuff in the beginning and such. I mean, everyone has, I guess, roughly equal interaction with the three leaders. But Merlwib definitely resonated with me. I did like that I like in Final Fantasy 14 in general that there is, great diversity, gender representation in leadership and leading role characters and such like that for sure. And Merlwib definitely resonated with me. Sadu, I just like how over the top Sadu is. I don't think Sadu isn't my waifu pick because I want her to kick me in the face. Sadu's my waifu pick because I want her to kick everyone else in the face and I just want to watch. So I'm going to say Sadu. Megan.
Moab is, I think, more physically attractive, but I love me a spicy little gremlin. And you would never be bored with Sadu. Something would always be on fire. She would always be burning things down and challenging people to death matches, and it would just be hilarious and a good time. So yes, I'm also voting for Sadu.
All right, Brandon.
Oh, this one is super hard. They were very close in my top 10 list for a reason. I admire that both of them recognize that their society that they are leaders of needs to change. But Merlwib is the one who actually puts that change into action. Sadu hasn't had the chance to do so yet. I'm hoping she gets to further in the MSQ. I don't want to stop seeing her. She's too great. I think this has. They're both gorgeous to me. Love them both. So to me, it comes down to at the end of the day, if I'm with one of them, who's going to leave me the least beaten up? So I'm going to pick Merlwib because I have a feeling that Sadu would just, kick me in the face for fun. And Merlwib, I'd at least have to somewhat piss off before she'd resort to violence.
Her name is Sadu, guys. Come on.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
And don't get me wrong. I'd almost put up with it just for the chance to spend our days beating the shit out of Magni together.
Little son. Oh.
Hate him so much. So I'm going to vote Merlwib, but if I lose this, I'm not upset.
All right, Ward, I guess you decided. Where's this going?
For me, it keeps going back and forth because, the reason why I couldn't go Ramon Brita is because there was another Seawolf in my heart. And the fact that I can't choose her, though, is what really gets me, is because Sadu, I know where I am at with. It's like, Sadu is all chaos all the time. Merle, I feel like, is she going to, meet with the kobolds and then give away our entire fortune? Is she going to be, treating with pirates and then bringing all of that back? Or is she going to be making other plans to make other plans to make other plans to then lead the... Oh, God, what was the name of her pirate tribe before?
Frick. I forgot it.
I forget too.
Are they the Bloody Executioners or
no? I think was it the Band of Lost Bastards?
Yes, the League of Lost Bastards.
League of Lost Bastards.
Oh my
yes.
God, I want flashbacks to Pirate Merlwib.
Yes, and that's why I'm like, I also think that Merlwib is just as likely to pull out a couple of pair of pistols and shoot you straight in the chest. And you know what? I'd rather have someone who's going to do that all the time than surprise me with it. So I'm gonna have to go with Sadu.
All right. Well, then Sadu moves on. Okay, that brings us to 8. Things are going to get a little tougher now, a little more heated. Although I think this first matchup, there is a clear frontrunner and a clear underdog here. So next up in round 2 of the Waifu Wars, we have Zero and Hilda. And we are going to start with Brandon on this one.
My opinion hasn't changed. I still pick Hilda in this situation.
Mm-hmm. All right. For pretty much the reasons that you've said earlier, Ward, you're next.
And that's a problem. Is it I would like to choose Hilda because I want more Heavensward representation, but it's just I can't. The fact that I couldn't even remember if she had voiced lines meant that they just weren't as memorable to me as they probably should have been. But Zero pulling that hat down is always going to be with me. So I'm going to have to go with Zero.
Is that recency bias, though? Be honest.
I don't know.
She's such a hot character model.
Because then I can also see her just eating that booze forever.
The fucking bun.
Oh yeah.
But once again, that's relatively new tech they've got going on in there. Is this recency bias? Don't forget, Hilda freaking decided, oh, I'm confronted with the most elite order of knights that have, absolute power in this freaking city-state. And her response to that was pull a gun and shoot them in the freaking head.
I know, but Zero learned the power of friendship. Zero learned the power of friendship and was willing to sacrifice herself.
To love.
Oh, man.
Hilda learned the power of overthrowing a freaking oligarchy. Come on.
Okay.
Not oligarchy. What the hell's the proper
Let's
term?
hold it. Let's hold the debate for a minute.
Okay.
I'm going to give my vote. And I, as much of a supporter as I have been of Hilda, I have to go with Zero in this one. And I will say, you may claim recency bias, and I may say there may be a little bit of that. But I would say that you look at the journey that Hilda took as a character during Heaven's Ward from start to where she is currently right now, or where she was at the end of Heaven's Ward. You look at the journey that Zero has taken as a character from the moment that we saw her form from the crystal of Zenith's avatar to where she is now. Zero as a character, as a person, has gone on such a more significant journey and has developed so much more than Hilda did in the entire expansion of Heaven's Ward. And that's just more fascinating to me. Not only that, I think we're going to see Zero develop even further. I would not be surprised if Zero goes on even further beyond Endwalker into the next expansion. She's going to be a regular member of the Scions. I almost guarantee it. People are like, oh, Zero's going to be the final boss and stuff. I don't think so. I think she's going to be a regular client.
Well, even if she is, we're just going to knock some sense into her, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we did it with Thancred, right? So Hilda is definitely up there on my list, but Zero's just up there so much higher. I have to give it to Zero. And that's so 2-1 for Zero. That leaves us with Megan.
So Hilda is very cool. I'm not going to deny that. I really like her character design. I love her character. I also just really like what she represents in Ishgardian society. I love the whole, Elysian lords and how they've been, abusing their she's literally a child of a maid that worked in an Elysian lord's house. So she's got a real reason to want to bring down the aristocracy. So, that's also a spicy situation of her parentage, and she's a spicy lady. But Zero, I think we're teaching her to love, which I think is an inherently romantic situation, and I think the fan fiction just writes itself. So,
all right,
yeah, Zero, I love it.
Okay, next up in round 2, I said the waifu wars are never fair. Venat and Kryl. We start with Ward on this one.
Oh man, the Mommy Crystal and the Mommy Crystal's avatar. Oh, jeez. And this is where I have to fight against the recency bias, because I as much as I want to choose Venat, it's Kryl has, but Heidelin's also been with us through thick and thin. Oh gosh, it makes it all that much harder.
Literally, no one else has been through us longer than her. Come on,
yeah. Oh man, and a bond that stretches beyond time and logic. Oh, why do I can't believe this. I'm voting against my number one pick.
Wow.
I'm voting against my number one pick. I can't believe this. It is Venat. It is Venat.
All right. Then I've got the next one, and I don't struggle with this too much. Kryl was not on my list. Venat was. I think that says enough there. So I'm going to say Venat.
Who's next?
Megan.
Okay. I love Kryl. She's adorable. She's I I wear her hood. I bought her outfit. But Vana is the full waifu package, okay? Like, she's gorgeous. She is, like, caring, and she, like, freaking split the planet in half to, like, save us. She sacrificed not just her life, but, like, her eternity to make things right. Oh, my God, I love Vana. Vana 100%. Also, God, that character model. Oh, my God.
Best line in Endwalker. From this day forward, they shall walk.
Okay.
All right, Brandon, is it unanimous?
First of all, let me just say apologies for not muting myself while I had a debate with my wife as to what the word I was thinking of was. But yes, it is unanimous. It's Venat for me.
All right. Moving on. Ooh, this one's a... we've got Y'shtola and Brita, folks.
Oh, frick.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Number 1 and number 2 for me. Oh,
And Megan kicks us off here.
I mean, look, I argue for Mubrita, but she cannot beat Y'shtola. Like, dear Lord, as much as I do love my spicy roe lady, she cannot beat Y'shtola for spiciness. and you know, she's so cute, and I love a cat girl, and yeah. I mean, I like aren't great for Y'shtola. Jesus Christ, like that's even required. Y'shtola.
All right. Okay. Brandon, good luck.
Oh God, this sucks. I didn't want it to end this way for our poor Femro, but it has to. Water, froth and foam.
Oh.
That's great. All right. Ward.
I'm voting for Master Matoya. I have to. I'm sorry. It's just Monbrita is always going to have the place, like in the story, in how much she's affected everything else. But there's a reason why there's a ball joint doll.
$500 doll.
Yes, it is. It is
the worst uncanny valley ever.
It was unfortunate, yes, but it exists. I want like a vinyl figure, like a really nice figure of Y'shtola. That would be great.
Oh. Well, let me hide my credit card. Jesus.
I know, right? when we go to FanFest, I'm gonna be like at the figure booth, like, give me.
Well, Venat was unanimous, and Y'shtola will be unanimous as well.
I feel like those two are going to be the.
I have a feeling we got a preview of the finals right there.
We just might. So finishing up our Elite 8 here, we have Ysael and Sadu. And Brandon, I think, gets to start us off. Or wait, hold on. Did I do that right? Or Brandon, me, Ward? No, Megan gets to start us off. Yep.
Well, that's kind of tough. I feel like Sadu definitely gets the recency bias because Ysael's been gone for a while, and I really did like Ysael. She's number one, unique character model, gorgeous. Love her hair, love her whole aesthetic. I loved her sassing Estinian. That was my favorite. Yeah. And like Ysael was right, has become such a meme. But and also, you know, we love a monster fucker.
I was all set to jump on the Ysael train until you did that. Come on.
But I really do think I have to go with Sadu. It could be recency bias. It could just be that I see a kindred gremlin spirit. Sadu. Think of the chaos we could reign together. So yeah, I go for Sadu.
Okay, Ward.
It has to be Ysael for me. I'm sorry. I think it's just the chemistry that she and Estinian had all on display for the hours and hours we spent with them. It just put such a place for her in my heart. As much as Sadu makes me laugh, Ysael makes me feel. So that's where we are.
She gives your heart a boner.
The most important kind. Yes.
I'm also going to say Ysael for me, just because Sadu, I could if Ysayle was actually, still around and hadn't sacrificed herself, I could see myself or my characters living a maybe not a long life, but a longer life with Ysayle than I would with Sadu, because I think for too long. So yes, I have to go with Ysayle, and that gives Brandon to decide where this is going.
So we're 2-1 in favor of Ysayle at the moment, correct? Yeah. Time for debate, friends, because I'm picking Sadu. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't put Ysayle in my top 10, which is, again, there were a number of ladies who all got pushed off the list just because I kept remembering ones going, oh, yeah, I didn't consider that. And Ysayle, unfortunately, got pushed a bit down there. Is this slight more recency bias? Probably. Is this a fact that I'm one of the weird ones that actually enjoyed Stormblood more than Heavensward? Also probably yes. Do I just want to spend my days out in the Azim steppe with her tormenting Magni until the end of time? Yeah. So
I'm ready to change my vote.
You're already ready to change
yes.
your vote?
Oh no. You still made me cry, so I think that deserves being the waifu.
But, a surprise turn.
It's a surprise turn.
And her story is also inherently romantic with her love of Herspurgal. And of course, as I said before, we stand a monster fucker.
I had a feeling you were going to be the one to turn.
The whole theme of Heavensward is like, yeah, okay, it's actually fine to fuck dragons. And she was the one that brought that about. She was the brave Elzen to take the first step to the monster fucking future, and for that I salute her.
Technically, that was Shiva, and that ended with her getting eaten.
Yeah, well, it comes with risks, but she knew them.
All right. With that, we have our final four here. And as we're getting close to a close here, this will probably be somewhat fast and furious. But all the same, so we have Zero and Venat.
Oh, that hurts me.
It does. I'm going to start this one off. And as much as I praise Zero for the character development and such that she has had so far in Endwalker, and that she has been one of the most interesting characters to me of all the ones I've had here, that I've, experienced and, had adventures with and such. Both of these characters were made big impressions in Endwalker, but Venat, Venat is the entire package. Zero, I feel like Zero kind of caters to a very specific group of people.
Me?
Right? Yep. But Venat's everything. She has been there from the beginning. I mean, literally the one who helped create Highland basically became Highland. And she's just that important a character. As a warrior of light, you make such a bond with Venat. You're both, you both are basically Azim. So, yeah, I have to go with Venat. It's close. It is close, but I have to go with Venat. That will bring us to Megan.
Okay, so Zero is like a good waifu for if you want to be the one nurturing, and Venat is a good waifu for if you want to be nurtured.
That's fair.
I just think that in the classic waifu package that Venat comes out ahead, because damn son, she would take such good care of you. So yeah, it has to be Venat.
She literally gave you the power to beat the Ultima weapon. I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. Brandon.
Well, I mean, I've voted against her every round, and I voted for the other every round, and then I also kicked myself for forgetting that the other one was even an option. Because I don't know, I'm tired lately. The answer's Venat. It's going to be her.
Yeah. All right. Ward, is it unanimous?
Yeah, I think that it's also Vanada's story is complete, is that we do know all the ups and downs, all the development we've seen and learned in hindsight how they've been with us the entire time. Well, I think that Zero could be a very interesting character, a very good waifu in the future. We know that Vanada's number one. So it is unanimous. It is Vanada.
Mommy Crystal.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, can I before we move on, can I just point out that yes, Vanada would be the one to take care of us, but also, did we forget that she makes us fight her to the death twice?
Yeah, man. She's still got some Dami in there too.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
All right. Next up here, it's going to be brutal, but we gotta handle it. Y'shtola and Ysayle. Ward, go.
Oh my god. Oh man. Ysayle has such a place for her in the Heaven's Word story, and all the different ways that she connects to all the different themes throughout. But Y'shtola is the one taking us over her knees. So yeah, it is Y'shtola.
I'm kind of sad Ysayle and Y'shtola never met. That's too bad.
It is sad. Missed opportunities. Can you imagine the sniping?
Y'shtola's like, I was dead at the time.
Yeah.
Yes, the back and forth between Ysayle and Y'shtola would have been amazing.
Let's
Spice
see.
versus ice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Knights. I have to go with Y'shtola. And I'm not even going to explain. Y'shtola's just such a front runner favorite here, and she's just. I've traveled with Y'shtola more than I have Ysayle, so I guess there's part of that. It's just I'm more familiar with Y'shtola, and Y'shtola is I like Y'shtola's wit. I like her attitude. She's spicy. That spice versus ice is correct. I have to go with you.
Who's next?
Megan, go ahead.
So Ysayle is like our tragic lost love, and Y'shtola is like our spicy longtime girlfriend. So
On again, off again.
Yeah, I have to go with Y'shtola.
Brandon.
I just want to point out that if Ysayle had stuck around, this would be the biggest example in all of Final Fantasy XIV, where we would look at the two of them and go, "Would you two, for the love of God, just kiss already?"
It's true. Well, they would be the new like Serena and Sadu and Maggie with like Y'shtola and Ysayle and then Justinian. You're like,
Oh man.
I thought you would be my girlfriend, but I guess not.
Oh.
It's like, it's cool. Go hang out with your boyfriend.
All right.
All that being said, my vote, of course, goes to Y'shtola.
Which means for the finals in the waifu division of this year's Waifu Wars, we have Vanat and Y'shtola.
Oh.
We're going to let Megan kick it off.
Okay. So this comes down to like spiciness level that you prefer, I think. Because while Vanat definitely has her spicy moments, I would say she's more of a nurturing figure. So if you want,
may I remind you, made us fight her to the death twice. It's not that nurturing.
Yes, but that was for our own good. And,
okay, you have a point there. Never mind.
And she never threatened to spank us. So even though she's a mommy, even though she has a bit of a dommy in her, I think that Y'shtola would be the spicier choice. Also, you'd have more in common with Y'shtola. Like, Vanat is an ancient, eternal, immortal being. And if you fall in love with her, you're probably going to end up with, like, Minfilia. So I'm going to vote Y'shtola because, A, her story's still going. We still have more opportunities to, like, learn about her and develop with her. And B, she's mortal like us, so we can grow old together and have our long-standing Scion adventures together, and she only seems to be getting spicier with age, so it's gonna get better.
All right, Brandon.
Oh, this is a lot harder than I thought it would be, considering Y'shtola was my number one pick, and yeah, I don't know, and I'll probably never know if that's down to me forgetting about Venat entirely, because again, I'm tired, not because she's not memorable. Megan, I do have to point out that Venat is probably, at the time of her death, one of the closest things to a Lovecraftian eldritch abomination that FF14 has. And given your previous status of "we stand a monster fucker," I'm a bit confused there.
Okay, this is Venat, not Heidelin, all right?
Good point. Okay, I guess you do make a bit of a distinction between the two.
No snow boots, Stompy Mommy, okay?
Yeah. Oh, this is really painful to say because these two are so great. But I gotta stand by my girl, and I'm gonna go with Y'shtola.
Ward, I have to say, I'm sorry, because if you did go with Venat, I'm going to deny you because I have to go with Y'shtola as well.
Oh man,
was Venat going to be your pick?
Venat was going to be my pick. But no, please tell me. Please, you want to say as why Y'shtola?
It's kind of already been said before. For me, Megan kind of made a good point about it. It's a character who it's like there is still a journey to be taken with her. There are a lot of characters in Final Fantasy, and few have the degree of personality, call it spiciness, if you will. But Y'shtola, she's spicy, yes. Is she a cat girl? Yes. But is she your stereotypical cat girl? No. And I think that's one that attracts me to her too, is that she goes against the grain of stereotype for what people envision of the cat girl character.
I love it that she also has the fucking stereotypical cat girl moments and they embarrass the shit out of her.
Rough and firm indeed. Oh,
yes.
man.
So yeah, I'd have to go with Y'shtola just because Venat is solid, but Y'shtola is more relatable and more my level. And if I were to put it in the perspective of my character's level, she's a peer versus someone who I would kind of say Venat is out of my league. Out of my league by like millions and millions of miles out of my league. Y'shtola is just a little out of my league.
Because she's mortal.
Yeah, that and other reasons. But Y'shtola's more.
Sorry.
Oh, God. Oh.
Sorry, it popped into my head. I had to say.
Wow.
You know that she likes you for your personality. How about that?
Yep.
Maybe she's forgotten what you look like.
It's fine.
Were you blonde? Like, no, just like, forget I said anything.
It's fine. Y'shtola, you can call me little whatever you want. It's okay.
Oh,
you're still a-okay in my book. But yeah, I'd go with Y'shtola over Venat here. So with 3-1, Ward, if you want any parting words for Venat you want to give, but we know where this is going.
Yeah, I would just say that Y'shtola is definitely someone who's got the love and thirst for knowledge, which means that they're always going to be crammed into stuffy books, reading all day long. In fact, falling asleep in that pile of stuffy old books. But Venat chose not to return to the star just so she could explore and carry on in brand new adventures. And I feel like it's that, like, desire for exploration, that desire to like learn and explore and see things that are new, that would put her above Y'shtola in my book.
Well, she's also just extremely hot.
Oh,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
I mean, she's got huge tracts of land.
she's got a really big sword and shield. Really nice moon boots. Look, she has gorgeous hair. I love her unique model. Her eyes, Jesus Christ, the white eyelashes. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Like the second that I saw her on the boat, I was like, oh my fucking God. And but I was still like suspicious because we were like coming out of Shadowbringers, and I'm like, maybe Heidelin is the bad guy, and I was like, oh no, she's hot. But yeah, that's a very hard choice. But I have to go with. I think Y'shtola was my first waifu, so I gotta.
I know we were that Limsa crew, so
yeah.
Y'shtola was the first waifu.
Yeah,
you never forget your first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Back when I thought she was hot in that ugly ass potato sack, so you know.
So I think there's one thing we can draw from this tournament's conclusion. If Y'shtola does somehow figure out how to return to the first, hey Runar, run.
And on that note, we are going to end part 1 of the Waifu Wars. I know the husbandos are part of the Waifu Wars. They got their own conference. But we will have our husbando version of this tournament in the next episode or two. Next episode might just be straight out 635 reaction and what we've been doing there. But thank you all for putting up with me and for going through my last minute changes here, because I, again, did not read the English language correctly and seeding this tournament correctly, but we got it all figured out. And
I'm so curious about your guys' husbando picks.
Here to defend my husbando picks.
We spent this episode agreeing with each other for the most part. I have a feeling the vitriol is coming back.
Yeah, I think we have similar taste in women. I don't think we have similar taste in men.
I think those will be definitely far more controversial things there. I will say that as far as husbandos go, and I'm not going to say who, they can keep this to themselves. Only one person chose Thancred. Just a
he's like a dad energy, okay? And like I kind of ship him with a
dad husbando, isn't that
okay? Look, I'm more into a mommy than I am into a daddy. I'll admit it.
But we are going to call it for now. Ward, I would ask you, how people can find you, but for that, it's pretty much just follow Megan, right?
That'd be it. That would be it. Yes. My online presence has come to non-existent, I think, at the time. So I'm just like,
it's the tweet at the beginning of the show, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that I will be like the attachment onto Megan. Like you see Megan, then there's this weird thing sitting next to her. It's like, yeah, it's me. That's me.
Oh, I thought that was butterscotch.
I have one on each side.
Megan, where can people find you on the internets?
On Twitter at CatMomMegan. That's MEAGAN. And you can find a link there to my Tumblr and my webtoon and like whatever I'm doing, and lots of pictures of butterscotch because I love her. That's all I do when I'm at home. I just see my cat and I'm like, oh my God, and I take pictures.
Saw Butterscotch playing with her fish and it was pretty fantastic.
Oh my God.
Fish was delish and it made quite a dish.
Brandon, how about you?
Twitter.com/thebmatt, TheBmatt. There's a link in my bio to everything I've got going on. There's my blog, there's my Tumblr, and there's also my D&D podcast where Ro is our DM. It is called +5 to Hit, and it is amazing, and you should listen to it.
You absolutely should listen to +5 to Hit, for sure. You can follow myself on Twitter at Podcaster Ro. That's Podcaster RHO. You can follow the show on Twitter at A Podcast Reborn. You can email us at apodcastreborn@gmail.com. We are a part of Bonus Roll Productions, so you can also check us out at bonusroll.gg. There is a shop there where you can find A Podcast Reborn merchandise as well. You can also leave us a review on the podcast directory over there if you feel so inclined. The music for our show is from Alex McCullough's Creative Genius. You can check out his YouTube channel for more great music, Final Fantasy related and otherwise. A link to it can be found in the notes for this show. Of course, that music and any other derivatives of Final Fantasy music you hear on this podcast belongs to Square Enix, and no copyright infringement is intended. That is going to do it for episode 32. Half of the Waifu Wars for 2023 have concluded. The other half is to come. But until then, for Megan, for Ward, for Brandon, and of course for Her Royal Highness Butterscotch, this is Brian Black. Until next time, may your loot rolls be high, your glamour fantastic, and your duties always complete. Brandon.
So, how does a red mage say, I love you?
How?
Verily.
Wow.
I
was wondering if I'd have to explain that one.
No,
I'm very proud of all of you.
As a red mage, I'm quite aware. That was a very, very good... Yeah. Very. Goodbye, everybody.